Welcome to the Brent Gove podcast with co-host Eric Lofholm. We are building 1 million agents in 100 countries in 10 years. Now, here's your host, Brent Gove.
And welcome back to the big show. We're glad you're here. I'm Brent Gove, my illustrious co-host, Mr. Eric Lofholm. Eric, how are we doing today?
Hey, Brent, I'm doing great. Excited to be here today. We've got a great topic as always. Today, how to recruit a sales organization. So get us started off.
All right. So this first part I'm going to call success by the numbers. A big part in a lot of success is knowing the math. It's a math equation. So I went back and analyzed what was it I did, because things went well for me. What did I do to kind of put in place the foundation for a dynasty? And today we have over 40,000 agents and brokers globally in 24 countries. We're getting ready to open in Tokyo, Japan. We're very excited about that. We're currently closing 25,000 buildings, wineries, restaurants, luxury properties, residential properties, investment properties a month. 25,000 recordings a month. It's insane. It's crazy. So what was it when I roll back the camera? What was it I did 8 years ago that started this ripple effect and a global movement? And it was the model. First of all, I am not special. I did do the work. I'll give myself credit for that. And I had a smile and I had enthusiasm. And Zig Ziglar says half the battle of success is the word enthusiasm. And the last four letters of that word stand for I am sold myself. And I had become sold that I had a good thing. And then you go share your enthusiasm about hot spring spas or about the new Starlink system where people can get internet globally or whatever it is you're excited about. And then people go, oh, maybe I should get some of that vitamin C. You say that's the best source of vitamin C in the world, the very best source. And here's why. And if you truly believe it, people will go get some of that nature's source of vitamin C or Hidden Valley vitamin C or whatever, the manufacturer is. And so, that works every time. So let's get in. Success by the numbers. So for me, I sat down with 30 people a month. There's 30 days a month. You have 24 hours in a day. Could you have coffee with a real estate agent tomorrow? Or let's say you're building a solar sales organization or life insurance sales organization or crown molding sales organization or leaf gutters or, whatever it is you do, you want an organization of salespeople. So for me, I talk to someone every day. It was, I have 8 kids, I have a wife, I had a business doing, 100 million a year. I was already very busy. I was active in my church and men's groups, and I was a coach, little league and soccer and just active golfing every Friday with my pastor and some buddies of mine. And I was already busy. How in the world do I fit one more thing in? And you might be saying the same thing right now. So I said, I have time to meet with someone every day. There's 24 hours a day. Nobody's that busy. And you think, well, I don't have the time. Well, make the time. Because otherwise it's just you're so busy. If you don't have the time, you definitely need to make the time. So every day I met with somebody, except for Sundays. And usually I took Fridays off as well. But every 30 days, I would definitely sit down one-on-one, person to person, eyeball to eyeball, belly button to belly button, kind of face to face, had open, honest dialogue about what they were doing. And I asked them to give me their opinion on what I was doing and see if it was a fit for their future. And so I did that 30 times a month for 5 months. That was it. That was the foundation. Those are the numbers. Success by the numbers. So one person a day, get 24 hours in a day. Well, who would I talk to? Well, Tony Robbins says people who are highly successful go on to become ultra successful. It is not their intellect. The differentiator is hunger. It's not. We're not talking about physical hunger. We're talking about how bad you want to change your situation. And I had that in spades. And so if you've got hunger, welcome, you're at the right place. So I sat down with 30 people my first month and 5 switched brokerages. In other words, I convinced Bob to leave XYZ Real Estate Corporation and join me at where I was, which happened to be eXp Realty. Maybe you're building Platinum Realty, or maybe you're building Keller Williams, or maybe you're building a Sotheby's. You want to meet with 30 people a month and convince them and show them why, let's say it was Sotheby's, why Sotheby's is the greatest place on planet Earth and why you think this will be better for their career. And 5 said, I think you're right. And they switched. So at the end of 5 months, my success rate was 5 out of 30. At the end of 5 months, I had personally enrolled, listed, recruited, whatever word you want to put on it, convinced, sold 25 people at the rate of 5 a month for 5 months, 25 people to join eXp Realty. You can apply that to Realty One. You can apply that to Remax. You can apply that to Cal. Why would I want to do that? Well, maybe you don't, but it was part of my business plan. Because if 100% of results rely upon you, yeah, I like it that way. That's good. Talk to me after 3 decades. You're going to be a little tired. I've been doing it 3 decades, and you're probably a little tired. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. In a week or two, you think about what I'm saying, like, he's right, man. I'm exhausted. I mean, when you run out of escrows, you run out of money. I don't have to get out of bed because I get paid. At first, it was just on, I had 45 agents, and if they sold a home, I got a little bit of 45 sales. And then there were 450, and I get a little bit of 450. Well, my brokerage is Royal LePage. There's 3,000 agents. The owner of Royal LePage, every time they make a sale, he gets a little bit. He gets paid 3,000 times a month. How about you? Well, I just work there. I don't recruit. Oh, you just sell. Yeah. And we got escrow. I got 5 in escrow. You're going to get paid 5 times. The owner of Royal LePage is going to get paid 3,000 times. I like Royal LePage's business plan better than yours. Well, I've tried recruiting and it's hard. Well, I tried dieting and it's hard. I tried going to the gym, it's hard. Everything worthwhile and good is hard. I read the Bible and I don't understand it. Well, read it some more. I talked to my wife at first and she wasn't interested in what you do. Well, I hung in there and persisted. And look at you, you're married and you have 3 kids. Anything worthwhile, you have to be faithfully persist. So my numbers, and I believe they will be true, if you have enthusiasm and a good business plan, and now if you're recruiting to a poor model, you may not get my results. I had an excellent model. At EXP, people got stock awards and they got revenue share, and we had everything everybody else had. But what we had that nobody else had was stock awards and revenue share. And of course, we've exploded from 1,200 of us to over 90,000 globally. Or right now, I believe with the pullback in the market, there's about 85,000 or something, but it's still a lot. So that's number 1. Before I move forward, I only have 5 points and we're done. Eric, I know I'm watching your eyes. I'm watching the cogs spin a little bit. Success by the numbers. Any thoughts on what I just said?
Yeah, what I like, you didn't say this, but how I see it is gamification.
Mm-hmm.
You played a game called I'm going to have one conversation a day. And
Yep.
what's great about that is it's doable. It's not like, okay, I need to do 5 this Friday. Like that would be a lot in one day, right?
Right.
1 a day. It's like, oh, that's doable. I'm busy producing real estate, but I could do 1 a day. So it's doable and it works and it's what you did. So I really like the simplicity, of what you're sharing.
Beautiful. Thank you. Complexity is the enemy of execution, but simplicity is keep it simple, build it big. And so, by the way, you heard I took Sundays off and I took Fridays off, which is true. But guess what? On Saturdays, I'd meet for someone at coffee at 8, maybe at 10, and I did 2 on Saturday. Sometimes I met someone for lunch on Tuesday and lunch on Thursday. I always did a coffee appointment every morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7:30 in the morning. I went about my business the rest of the day, building Compass or Sotheby's or Remax or Keller Williams or in my case, EXP. So it didn't interfere with my business. It didn't slow me down. And I was able to add it to what I was doing. And it was incredible. So that's success by the numbers. Number 2, one of the things I did was I learned to do this is I would say, okay, Eric, really enjoyed talking to you today. If I may be so bold, I'd like to give you a homework assignment. And I would hand out homework assignments and be like, okay, can I give you a homework assignment, Eric? And you're like, yeah, sure. I said, I want you to go home. I want you to watch this with your wife. If I was talking to a woman, I want you to watch this with your husband. If it was a single person, I want you to go home tonight, invite your best friend over to your house. If you're single, you have best friends that come over, you watch a movie together, or you watch football or UFC or whatever it is you like to watch, golf, and or you barbecue, whoever you invite over to barbecue and hang out with, invite them over. They don't even have to be in real estate, but I want you to watch. We have a presentation video called the modelexplained.com. Watch that. By the way, it's brilliant. It's not expexplained.com. It's the model. That's generic, third party. It's all about EXP. Don't get me wrong, but when you're talking to a Sotheby's agent, you say, "Hey, we're going to go through Coldwell Banker Explained." People feel like they're cheating on Sotheby's, like they're not being faithful to the brokerage. We say, "Hey, I just want you to take a look at a model." It takes the personalness. I don't even know if that's a word, but it takes it out of it. And it's more scientific. You're just studying the model. So the homework was, I want you mainly, and I talk to a lot of couples, I want you to go show this, Eric, to your wife. And there's two reasons there. A, I want Eric to see it again. He's not going to get it all the first time. And I know, and I always say, and the second time I saw it, Eric, oh, it made so much sense. I got it. And then also a lot of times the wife will get it more than the husband and go, "This is brilliant. You need to do this." Really? Really? Yeah, really. I live in the Caribbean today because my wife kind of got the tax benefits of living out here, and I got it too, but I just wasn't willing to go. But I live here today because my wife like, "Oh, we're doing this." I'm like, "Oh, yes, dear." And so she drugged me out here kicking and streaming. Now it's our 5th year living out in the Caribbean, and we love it. But so that was number two, homework. Give them homework. And then book another meeting from a meeting, say, "Hey, let's meet again tomorrow for 10 minutes. Everything's 10 minutes. You may have spent an hour with them. Do you have 10 minutes tomorrow morning or afternoon?" "Sure, I got 10 minutes." "Good. 4 o'clock. Good. Let's pencil something in. I just want to reconnect with you and answer some more questions." "Okay." Make it light. You never leave a meeting without booking the next. It's called the magic move. Book a meeting from a meeting. The magic move, book a meeting from a meeting. So that's the homework assignment, is to go show this to their husband or their wife or their best buddy, and then set up a meeting with them for tomorrow, not next week. Time decay kills. You want to keep momentum going. Number three, you're not going anywhere. Let's take the idea of leaving Compass, leaving Sotheby's, leaving Remax or Keller Williams or Century 21 or Berkshire Hathaway or Platinum Real Estate or wherever it is they work, Royal LePage, John L. Scott. You're staying there. You're not leaving. It's a book, put it on the bookshelf. All you're doing, Eric, is you're learning about a new model. Again, he's not learning about EXP, so I didn't choose the word the EXP. And if you're promoting Sotheby's or Keller Williams, you're just learning about a new model. Don't even say Sotheby's or Keller Williams. You're not ashamed of Sotheby's. I'm not ashamed of EXP. But if you're smart, you'll take the personalness out of it. You'll make it more of scientific, more of just, and I say, "Eric, would you do me a favor? Would you be willing to make a commitment to me?" See, and I pause there just like that, to stay in curiosity about our business model. Would you be willing to do that, Eric?
Yes.
See how it was, and I shut up and I waited. And it was, "Eric, try to say no. Would you be willing to do that, Eric?" Say no. Go no.
No.
Yeah. Does that feel funny?
Yeah.
It feels closed-minded. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, would you make a commitment to me to stay in curiosity about the model? Can you at least do that? It's
Yes.
pretty natural to say yes. And I know this because I ended up leaving Remax after being there for 12 years and being the number one Remax agent in California in volume, number of sales, to going to Keller Williams because a woman named Maureen Barker, she said that to me. "Would you at least stay in curiosity about the model?" She did not call it Keller Williams. She called it a model. I'm like, "Oh, I could do that." And then once I said yes, she said, "Great. I want to invite you to some upcoming events." I'm like, "Dang, I got to go now." I told her I'd stay in curiosity. And I go to some of these Keller Williams events, and the worst thing possible happened. I liked them. They were amazing. That business planning clinics and listing workshops and marketing, this and that masterminds. And it was cool. What a great group. The culture was amazing. All because she asked me to make a commitment. Remember, this is number three. Will you make a commitment to stay in curiosity about the model? Really important you learn to say that. And then you tell them more about Sotheby's. You tell them more about Remax. You tell them more about EXP, whatever model you're a part of. Okay, so that's number three. That's powerful. It's really important. And before you say that, it's real important to say, "Eric, again, I know you're a star at Compass. You are not leaving Compass. You're not going anywhere. Take the idea of you leaving Compass and put that, it's a book, put it back on the shelf. That's not what this is about. It's not about you leaving Compass. It's about you learning about a new business model. Could you do that for me, Eric? Would you make a commitment for me to stay in curiosity about a new business model for real estate? Will you?
Yes.
Boom. You guys got it. It's a script. It's easy to do. I did it all the time. And then you have permission to, good. I wanted to invite you to an upcoming event or two, and I want you to meet some people. Now he has to do that. He told me he'd make a commitment to learn about the model. He's got to do it. I started meeting people at EXP, in this case, at Keller Williams. And then I also went to Keller Williams events. And now it took me 2 years of, because even after doing all that, I didn't see a big difference. And I was doing really well at REMAX. At EXP, it took 2 weeks, not 2 years. It became clear super quick. It was EXP was in its own, not league, universe. Keller Williams was in its own league. They were, I mean, I was convinced it was the best real estate company in the world, and they were in a league of their own, and they were until EXP came along, and EXP was not in their league. EXP was in their own universe. It was like light years ahead. And of course, the proof is in the pudding. It became a billion-dollar company, so it's pretty cool. And then number 4, we only have 5 points. Number 4 is enthusiasm sprinkled throughout everything you do. And I know I talked about that early on, but I think the key to sales, like Zig Ziglar says, is the word enthusiasm. And the last 4 letters, I am sold myself. And so when you're smiling and you're excited and you're sharing your passion for what you're doing, people they're just naturally attracted to that. Use that at your listing presentations. Use that with buyers you're meeting at open houses. It will help you. People are drawn to that. And learn to say, okay, here's the next step. Never show up working with a buyer or a seller or a prospect for your brokerage, whatever brokerage you're a part of. In my case, it's EXP. Never show up without knowing beforehand, okay, my goal for this meeting is next week we have an event happening at the local board. There'll be about 300 EXP agents there. My goal is to get Eric there. So that's your plan, right? And then also tomorrow, I want to introduce him to the vice president of EXP, Amy Weaver. And so I may say, okay, 2 bits of homework. Number 1, Eric, next week we have this event going on. I have Colton coming in. He sold $300 million worth of real estate this past year. This year, he's going to do over about 400 sales. He's going to come in and teach you how to sell real estate at a very high level. It's from 10 to noon at the Placer County Board. Can you make it, Eric? Yes, I will. Boom. Goal number 1 achieved. Number 2, it's called, which is actually point number 5. I jumped into point number 5. If I would you. Eric, if I could get an appointment with the vice president of EXP, the fastest growing real estate brokerage on the planet. Now you could say Sotheby's, Compass, Keller Williams, and then whatever amazing things are. One of the premier luxury real estate companies on the planet, Sotheby's. I'm not saying I could, but Eric, if I could, would you meet with the vice president of Sotheby's International? I don't even know if I can get the appointment, but if I could get it, would you have 10 minutes in your schedule tomorrow to meet with them?
Yes.
See how that goes? And then I said, okay, let's pencil something in. I don't know that it's Amy Weaver's her name. I don't know her schedule, but just because we're both busy, let's and then just cut me off and say, Brent, my day's crazy. Go ahead and say that. My day's crazy.
Brent, my day's crazy.
I go, mine is too. But where's the least crazy part of your day? I just want to pencil something in, Eric. I won't hold you to it. But there's got to be a hole in your schedule somewhere. Is it in the morning, early afternoon, late afternoon? If there was a hole, boom, I go, good. I'll take it at 1 o'clock. Now okay, let me see if I can get Amy Weaver, excuse me, the vice president of EXP, to meet this for 10 minutes at 1 o'clock. If I would you, I said, I'm gonna work on it, okay? And by the way, it's now in stone. I mean, I'm just going to pencil in. They write it in their calendar, 1 o'clock. It's just there. I mean, I'm now in his calendar instead of chasing. You do not want to chase. It's called the magic move. You never get off the Zoom or the call without the next appointment booked. What I'm telling you is gold. It's why I have 40,000 people in my organization. Gold. The sun never sets on my business. People sell 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I woke up this morning, had coffee with my wife in a few hours, and I looked at my income, and it went up $15,000 in 2 hours.
Wow.
I realized we just made $15,000 while we were having coffee. She says, we didn't do anything. I said, I know. I love being a business owner. You know, if I was a professional dentist, I'd had to go from room to room to room to room to room to room to room in 2 hours to make my 15,000. Even then, I have to pay all the expenses. Probably made 7. So I have to do another. I'd have to work till noon to make 15 grand. if I was a dentist, And so not knocking dentists, but you got to go from sales production minded to owning the ranch, baby, owning the dairy, owning the vineyard, owning the restaurant. Don't be a waitress. Oh, I made 500 a day in tips. It's so great. Now you get a big card and big home. This, you make 500 a day. Great. You quit working. You quit getting that 500 a day in tips. I make 1,000 a day in tips. Hey, congratulations, man. That's amazing. That's 5,000 a week. You're making 20,000 a month in tips on a 5-week month. You're making 25,000 a month in tips. Congratulations. It's easy to spend 25,000 a month in New York or Miami or Manhattan or San Francisco or California or Seattle. Easy to spend 25,000 a month and just have a nicer home, nicer cars. And now you're kind of a slave. You're kind of stuck serving that hamster wheel you created of the high income. You want to own the restaurant so that, hey, maybe you're only making 25,000 a month, 40,000 a month, but if you don't do anything that month, you still get the 25 or the 40,000 because you own the ranch, baby. You own the vineyard. You're not working on the vineyard. You're not the union boss. You're not the guy picking the grapes. You're not the guy putting, fertilizer. And you understand the difference here. So again, if I would you, and then it's a sense of urgency. Number 5 is all about a sense of urgency. And I keep meeting with them every 2 or 3 days, Never, ever. I'll call you next week. Let's try to connect. We'll recircle back the wagons next week. That is how average, unsuccessful people think. You got to have the hunger and the drive. So those are my 5 points. In summary, success by the numbers. I sponsored 5 out of 30. I wasn't even that good every month. By the way, the next 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years later, about 3 of those 30 that said no, they said yes. So it ended up being about 8 out of every 30 joined me. And over 5 months, that meant 8 out of over times 5 is 40 people joined me at EXP, and the rest is history. Enough said there. But number 2, I'm going to give you a homework assignment, if you don't mind, with a smile. And this is going to help you, like, okay. And you give them 2 or 3 things to do. And number 3 is you're not going anywhere. You're not leaving your brokerage. You're just learning about a new model. Can you make a commitment to me and stay curiosity about the model? Number 4, sprinkle enthusiasm throughout everything. Whether you're on listing presentation, buyer presentations, presenting solar, presenting life insurance, have enthusiasm for the product. Be excited about what you're doing. People want to buy from you. And finally, number 5, a sense of urgency. If I can do X, Y, and Z, would you? If I could get you to this, would you? And the old if I would you, it's just brilliant. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this today. Eric, any final thoughts or comments on your part?
Yeah, I love the simplicity again. I love the system. And I love that what you're sharing is what you did. It's not something you read in a book. These are the exact things that you did. Mm-hmm. And, I always wrap up our sessions by encouraging everybody to listen to the podcast multiple times. And I want you to especially do it with this one. So if you're up to wanting to recruit an organization and build your team, this is a podcast I'd listen to every day for the rest of the year. Like, that's a totally outrageous request. Like, what are you talking about every day for the rest of the year? But isn't that, Brent, what you did? Didn't you have some audios that you used to just like?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was one called Momentum Is Not a Mystery by a guy named Jim Flora. I must have heard it 200 times in 1 year, and it's an hour long. By the way, what you and I just did, I think it was 20 minutes long. And so it's short, and it's just power packed.
Listen to this thing over and over and over and over and over, because the scripts will go right into your subconscious. Yep. You learn it without even trying. And please share this with your organization so they can benefit from the great content that Brent shared. I mean, the content was just on fire today. It was amazing. On point. So thank you all for listening. We'll look forward to connecting with you on the next Brent Gove podcast.
Okay, so here's the deal. We have incredible information, video content on my YouTube channel. Go over there and make sure you subscribe. And it's vital that you ring the bell. If you ring that bell every time I put out new content, it's actually going to notify you, and you can get the latest and greatest of what's happening at EXP. Now, don't forget to like me on Facebook, so you can also get that content, and then follow me on Instagram. We're hitting everybody high, low, and in between. We're trying to get the information out there so you can build big businesses, revenue share organizations. So go to YouTube right now. Please subscribe and ring that bell. Like me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram. We'll see you out there.